Welcome to Unity Center of Pittsburgh. It's Sunday, July 28th, 2020. Our singers are Lucy Clabby and Bryce Rabideau, who are going to be singing Love is My Decision.
Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. No one else can make me forgive. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to give up my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now.
Wonderful. How so true. Unity is part of a spiritual movement that believes God is in us as us. And we make those decisions with our mind every day. Are we going to act in accordance with the divine spirit that's in each one of us, one day at a time, one moment at a time? And we have a vision and mission. Our vision is that we envision a spiritually awakened world flowing with divine love. Our mission is that we're an inclusive, loving community dedicated to teach, inspire, and practice positive spiritual living. And we borrow from all sorts of disciplines and faiths that's why we're called Unity. Spirit, we're grateful for this day. We're grateful for this life in us. Thank you for giving us power to make a decision to love. Even when we make decisions that move elsewhere, we can always come back to you, Spirit, in us, as us. Thank you for giving us this power. And we right now want to fill our hearts with gratitude, love and forgiveness toward ourselves, toward others, and begin to see you in us and as we have never seen before. And so it is. And our second song is Holy, Holy, Holy.
We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. to me, feeling love, healing me. Open my heart, allow me to see beauty and love lives in me. You are holy, holy, holy. You are holy, holy, holy. You are holy, holy, holy. You are whole. The Spirit divine, come to me, feeling love, oh, healing me. Open my heart, allow me to see beauty and love lives in me. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy, holy, holy. I am whole. You are whole. We are whole. Thank you, everybody.
What powerful words sung so beautifully. We're not taught that we're holy, and we see so much in life separates us, and our ego seems to be at war. But we are holy and whole, and it's surrendering to the Spirit of God that lives in each one of us, and that's when we experience it. And it's as simple as lighting a candle, which is our custom. We light a candle, and it's so easily done when we catch ourselves and feeling divided and separated. We can, wait a minute, surrender and see the light in each one of us and around us and begin to experience that holiness. We call it a Christ candle. And that refers to the Christ consciousness that's in each one of us, that certainly Jesus had in abundance. But he made this bold statement, greater things you'll do, because the Spirit of God, the Christ consciousness, is in each one of us. And we have our principles. God is the source and creator of all. There is no other enduring power. God is good and present everywhere. We are spiritual beings created in God's image. The Spirit of God lives within each person. Therefore, all people are inherently good. We create our life experiences through our way of thinking. Through prayer and meditation, we increase our conscious contact with God, bringing forth love, wisdom, health, prosperity, and everything good. Knowledge of these spiritual principles is not enough. We must live them. And a wonderful, wonderful affirmation, which I'll use later on for our meditation. And I'll say it 3 times. Those here can join with me. In the light of spiritual understanding, I behold divinity within all beings. In the light of spiritual understanding, I behold divinity within all beings. In the light of spiritual understanding, I behold divinity within all beings. And a great song that we usually associate with Louis Armstrong. But you can have another voice. Yeah, you don't have to try to imitate him today. But it's really such beautiful words. It's a song of consciousness and awareness, isn't it? Because we can get so focused as opposed to looking around and looking within. What a wonderful world.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright, blessed days and dark, sacred nights, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow are so pretty in the sky. It's also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
I had never noticed before, dark, sacred nights. Yes, that's also included. It doesn't mean gloom, as we can find peace and we can find solitude and meditation during that time. Our daily word reading, will. Spiritual understanding guides my will. And it's got a little bit of a conflict in that fight, or it goes within each one of us. Each day I use my will to make decisions, big and small, that affect the quality and direction of my life. Through the use of my human will, I might make choices out of fear or a sense of lack. Or I may be driven by my desire for convenience, comfort, and the pleasures of the moment. The use of my spiritual will, however, directs my choices toward a greater awareness of my divine nature. As I grow spiritually, I use my will to shine my Christ light even more brightly. I grow in willingness to co-create with God as I release my willfulness to do everything on my own. As I live more intentionally from my divinity, the light of spiritual understanding dawns within me and directs my will. And from Joshua chapter 1, be strong and courageous, do not be frightened or dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Boy, this one could have at least 5 or 6 messages. Wow. We bless our children, even though one isn't here and others aren't here. And we bless them in a special way. We visualize ones we know, ones we've heard of, for spiritual protection, human protection, and kindness to them. And may their spirit be seen in us, of trust, of faith, a willingness to dare and risk. And so it is. We're going to have to hug from a distance. Did we come up with a gesture yet? Is it this? You can do a little bit more if you wish. Or you can even do that. My arms can't get around like they used to, so I'm getting tighter as time goes on. We'll have a special music. It says, "You'll Never Walk Alone." Who wrote that?
I know it's Rodgers and Hammerstein, but Elvis has done it, Judy Garland has done it, Aretha Franklin has done it, but originally it was Rodgers and Hammerstein.
Well, let's see you do it.
I'll try my best. When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of a storm, there's a golden sky and the sweet silver song of a lark. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain, though your dreams be tossed and blown. Walk on with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone. Oh, you'll never walk alone. Oh, walk on with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone. Oh, you'll never walk Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Rodgers and Hammerstein were honored. That's what I appreciate about Unity Center of Pittsburgh, that spiritual songs, but we pick a number of popular songs. They're not religious at all, but they express a deep longing, a yearning, a sense of connection. And they're not theological, or they might be subtly, but they capture something that we all understand, say, yes, yes. And so thank you so much for that. This is our time for prayer. The prayer slips are right next to Mac there if you wanted to fill one out. And of course, at home, you are more than welcome to either put on online or to yourself a prayer request or affirmation. I'm big on affirmations. It's so important that our words regarding prayer are affirming the goodness as opposed to always asking, where we have that sense of we don't have and we need, as opposed to, wait a minute, look what I already have. That makes, when we move into requesting, when we feel we already have much more of an abundance, it changes the spirit and mood of our prayer. And now our song, When I Pray.
When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray.
Spirit, we're grateful for so much of abundance that we always have. Our connection as co-creators, that you live in us as us, that there is joy and peace and strength always within our will, always when we decide that that's what we'll believe and accept. Thank you.
When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray.
And right where we are, let's relax. Be seated. Take deep breaths and calm ourselves. And sense presence. Sense the presence of God. As you go, relax your body. Just feel that peace. See yourself as greater than you can imagine. Be bold. That there is divinity shared. God isn't greedy and holds that God gives. We are spiritual beings created in God's image. We are inherently good and even better than that. Feel that now. Sense your own divine nature and realize anything else is under forgiveness and love. Hold on to that right now. Forgiveness and love. See divinity and imagine it in flowers and water and trees and birds and animals and sounds of the wind, sounds of silence. See divinity in that. And now see divinity in others without thinking, without judgment. Look upon them as Spirit looks upon. Look upon others the way you want others to look upon you. Give each other that right now. Let's express gratitude in our hearts. There's so much good and so much wonder in us and around us. May our vision expand. And now even imagine people, spiritual beings, giving an embrace of love. Imagine that and feel it. In the light of spiritual understanding, I behold divinity within all beings. And so it is. Coming to us online from Youngstown, Ohio, is Vince Lisi, and although, Vince, I appreciate your messages, your spirit, that smile of Vince's, that welcoming, loving, accepting smile is always deeply appreciated and affects, I think, a lot of people. So it's Lifting the Veil, Part 2. Vince Lisi.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for this nice opportunity of being able to address you today. Just before I do so, I'd like to mention a couple of things. First of all, I'd like to show you this lovely rose that came from our Peace and Love rose bush in our backyard. It's just so beautiful. And it's just nice every once in a while just to pause, to be able to see of beauty. John Keats, A Thing of Beauty is a joy forever. Just want you to know that you too are a thing of beauty. You too are a joy forever. Just always nice to say that. I'd also like to mention that for our class from this afternoon on Mastering Alchemy, that we will have a Zoom classroom from 12:30 to 2:30. If If you just go to our website, nowcreations.com, and click on study groups and scroll down to the Pittsburgh Alchemy group from 12:30 to 2:30, click on the Zoom classroom, and everything should come up nicely. Let me now begin my presentation with you today. And may I first of all begin by thanking you again for this opportunity to address you today. But in addition to that, I just want you to know how inspired I am and uplifted by all of you and all of the good things that we are doing to bring awareness to our lovely planet. No matter what is going on other places, I think we understand very clearly there's an awareness within us, and we're bringing this to fruitful bearing in our everyday living. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What I'd like to mention today in our teaching is a part 2 notion of really learning, in a sense, to move through some of our dilemmas and limitations in life. Last week, I simply said that happy people do happy things, and loving people do loving things. That's all we need to know from part 1. Happy people do happy things. Don't rely on happy things, but rather they do happy things. And loving people do not rely on loving objects, but rather they perform or create loving objects from within. So in this particular teaching, what I'd like to focus on is full release of the drama. Full release, all of the things that keep you immersed in the stuff that isn't you, that can often stop you from being happy and from being loving. This, I believe, is a vitally important message today, and I'd like to suggest some note-taking if you would like. I'd like to begin with, first of all, 3 pieces of advice, and then proceed to the easy and hard stuff of the drama, and then lastly conclude with the next to fully assist each one of us to truly evolve our humanity and to raise the energy of the planet. First of all, some advice for releasing the drama. The first bit of advice for releasing drama comes from the Mastering Alchemy author, Jim Self. In a nutshell, what Jim and the Master say is that you cannot take your baggage with you. You cannot take your baggage with you. Your baggage is the outdated beliefs and the old habits that just keep you trapped in drama again and again and again. It's that stuff that just in a sense sticks in your thoughts and in your emotions, even when you know better. You can't bring your baggage with you. The second bit of advice comes from Eckhart Tolle. This sticky stuff, Eckhart said, is really called the pain body. The pain body is all the stuff that we have not released and still festers in our thoughts and emotions. And it just takes a little trigger, to set off the pain body into a major eruption. Again, it's that sticky stuff of the drama that needs to be released before we can be happy, loving beings. Just want to say it again. It's the sticky stuff of the drama, the pain body, the baggage we have to release before we can be those happier, more loving people. It's the third piece of advice, however, given long ago by the Buddha that I regularly use and is the substance of today's teaching that is absolutely essential for our spiritual growth. The Buddha gave us what is called the Eightfold Path. 8 steps to get clarity to how we can be happy, creative beings. While all 8 steps are very important, it is the 7th one that I think is most important for us this morning. This is the seventh step. The seventh step is to be mindful, but not in the popular sense of being mindful in today's use of the term. Rather, this is what the Buddha said. We must meticulously examine our minds to root out even the smallest dramas that keep us rooted in third-dimensional living. This ability to root out even the smallest things is so very important, because it's usually the smallest things that have the biggest fears attached to them. And if we can root out these smallest things with the biggest fears, we then have some big-time solutions that will profit us. And this is what we want to do in today's teaching. So with these three pieces of advice, let's now look at some of the dramas that still might keep us rooted in baggage, in feeding the pain body. What I have done for us this morning is to divide our dramas into two categories. First, what I consider to be the easy stuff to release, and then secondly, these seemingly small dramas that have such big roots. First, let's talk about easy stuff to get rid of, acknowledging the fact that this might not be easy for you, but trust me, these are the easier things to get rid of, to release, because of one particular reason. They deal with others. They involve others. That's why they're easier to get rid of. So here's my list of the 10 sticky things that need to be released. See if they fit. Number 1, road rage. Anything from someone cutting you off, or someone giving you an index finger for what you have done. Number 2, someone says a hurtful thing to you, especially one that is unjustified and blatantly wrong. It just makes you angry that they said that. Number 3, swearing at another or at a situation that's upsetting to you. It bugs me, and you mouth off. Number 4, judgment, especially when someone is doing obviously stupid. Then return stupidity by being upset with it, not understanding that it is their problem. Number 5, unfairness. When you see people being taken advantage of, or when you feel that you have been treated unfairly. 6, justice. It just galls you when someone is getting away with something that you would have been punished for. Number 7, binging on food or drink, especially as compensation for being mad at someone. Number 8, that someone. That someone who is the exception to the rule of loving everyone. Just that someone who, when they enter your space, makes you very uncomfortable and you wish they weren't there. Number 9, boasting or bragging from another about whom you know the real truth. Number 10, not getting to the point. People who seem to be able to solve an immediate problem and give wordy evidence, they really don't know what they're talking about. As I said, these are the easy things to get over, and many of you are doing so because you had been taking the advice of A Course in Miracles. is when it says, it need not be. It just need not be that you get upset with an. Again, it's a little easier to say that it need not be when you're talking about others. It's really easier to see that many of the problems of others, well, they're really their problems. They are not your problems. You don't have to make their problems your problems. It need not be. Sure, it takes a lot of understanding and effort to keep your temper in check, but again, it need not be that you be upset with others. And may I say that we are making great progress in this area. We're doing well, and we're going to do even better. We just understand that their problems are not our problems, and we no longer get immersed in their dramas. Let's now get back to the Buddha. That the Buddha said, you must meticulously examine your mind to root out the slightest dramas. This has been very, very helpful to me personally. I really worked on this. So what if the dramas in your mind really do not come from others? But what if the dramas in your mind just have to deal with you? They're your dramas. No one else is involved. These are the much more difficult things to get rid of. This is the real sticky stuff that often has roots that need your reckoning. So before proceeding, what I would like to say that I've wanted to share this teaching with you for quite some time, and now is the time. And I hope that you will find this teaching as helpful to you as I have found it for me. Not to judge yourself, please do not judge yourself, but realize what needs attention. The real sticky stuff has nothing to do with others. It deals primarily and exclusively with you. What is going on within you? Sometimes daily, if not weekly. But it too is baggage. And it's a baggage that we have to unload. Now, this is what I mean. Please do not judge yourself, but see what needs to be done. Do you have any of the following feelings of inadequacy about yourself? Such as, number one, I am not as nice as people think I am. I am still really very self-centered, and it always has to be about me. Number two, I have a lot of grudges and resentments, especially to my family members and with some of my friends. And I hold grudges. I don't often forget, let alone forgive. Number three, I really am, in a sense, somewhat of a racist. Even though I don't want to be, and even though I say that I'm not. Number four, I often compare myself to others and always end up feeling inferior. Number five, I get very nervous when I have to say something or do something in front of others. I just feel so self-conscious. I'm always worried about what they're going to say about me. Number six, I feel very sad at times, unworthy, shameful, guilty. alone, and unloved. Number 7, speaking of guilt, I have a hard time forgiving myself for my past actions. I keep thinking that I should have known and done better. Number 8, I worry a lot. I'm anxious, unsure, uncertain. What if this happens? That happens. Will I have enough? Number 9, sometimes I feel like I'm falling apart. I just don't know what to do with myself. And 10, I hate to admit this, but sometimes I even feel suicidal. Life is just not making sense to me at the moment. Now, I mention these things because these are very real feelings, and we have to move beyond them. They are the baggage that weigh us down, but they are also real thoughts and real feelings that must be dealt with. I say these things very honestly because I know that the power within us is more powerful than all of the dramas of life. As Philip mentioned, saying we are made in that image and likeness of God. You'll notice that I said that I know. I know that the power within me is much more powerful than my dramas. It is this power within us that we must unequivocally come to know. We have to absorb this power. It must be felt. It must be felt at a deeper level than the challenges of the dramas. It takes time to do this. You have to move into the silence. You have to come to know, feel, experience that incredible power at the very center of your being. You have changed a lot over the past years. You are much calmer, much more settled, less likely to get entangled into the dramas of others. Now we must complete the inward journey. You must come to know with clarity the experience, the power of this presence within you. You are the creative light of God in this world. Do you clearly see what you are capable of? The light within you is more powerful not just to illumine your own darkness, but it is also this message of light that you extend to others. You are modeling a behavior that is the evolutionary pathway of all humanity. I just want to say it again. You are modeling a behavior of the evolutionary pathway for all humans insofar as we have an unlimited capacity of goodness and love. So many times you've heard the saying, be the change that you would like to see in the world. You are being this change. Calmly, confidently, bringing your light to the situations of life. You know what you are doing, You are being the change because you are releasing your baggage, the sticky stuff, and extending now your light calmly, confidently, and with great power. In this process, you are also inviting others to release their baggage and to similarly shine. Do you not see the service that you are extending just by being you? Please, never doubt the intelligent choices that you are making, because they are coming from that creative place of love within you. I hope you feel this. As I mentioned, I've wanted to share this teaching with you for quite some time. Hurdles with others are difficult at times, but it's the hurdles within yourself that are the most burdensome. I want to help you have a greater clarification about the quality of your life as a conscious creator of heaven on earth. And I ask that you do the same for me. We need to assist each other in our growth. You have my pledge to you, and I ask for yours in the name of all of the rest of us. We're ready to do this. Need to release the baggage and to move forward. We are ready, willing, and truly able. In conclusion, I'm going to give a follow-up to today's teaching. And this lesson next week will be on that powerful message of really expanding our sense of self. It'll be so much fun. But it all depends. It all depends on how well you have released your baggage and come to know the purity of the goodness within you. This is a challenging growth, and yet the joy, the great joy that awaits us. Namaste, dear ones. Namaste.
Vince, I think you mean next month, right? You said next week. A couple of things in response to that, those 10 items. I thought, Vince, you're getting awfully close to home there. How'd you know me so well? But I had the feeling, an image of all sorts of little ponies and horses go by in our lives, and it's up to us. And by golly, I jump on an awful lot of them, as opposed to just watching them go by and say, they really don't have anything to do with me. Why have I decided to allow them into my heart and mind? But I guess we all struggle with that. And I appreciated so much Vince's thoughts, or expressing those thoughts, because golly, they strike home, I think, for all of us. Now, this is an opportunity for us to practice a spiritual blessing of abundance, of belief and faith that despite whatever is happening in our lives, we have that ability to give of our time and our resources. And I'm just grateful that we all have that opportunity to give as little or as much as we feel able. And we have our practice that we hold our offering and we recite our prayer. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and I am grateful. And of course, we'll put that offering in the basket back there afterwards. Before our songs, I wanted to give the announcements, because I hate to have the announcements in the middle of these great songs and interrupt that flow. I think Vince got cut out. His website is nowcreations.com. nowcreations.com if you want to hook up for 12:30 on his site. We did have our annual... Oh, there you go. Nowcreations.org. How about that? So sorry. Of course, computers are so smart, they'll lead you on to that, hopefully. We had our annual meeting last week, and we do have new board members, Ronnie Weiss, Patricia Sullivan, and our new alternative is Robin Walsh, and we're so grateful for their service. Just in case, any other announcements? I don't think so. So we have our closing song. Oh gosh, This Little Light of Mine. Jesus was so bold as he said, "You are the light of the world. Now let this light shine that they might see your good works and glorify the Father in heaven." And then we'll go right into our peace song and benediction. Lead on.
Here we go. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of yours, you're gonna let it shine. This little light of yours, you're gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of yours, you're gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of ours, we're gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of ours, we're gonna let it shine. This little light of ours, we're gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. One more time. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Thank you, everybody.
And now our peace song.
Now there is peace on earth, and it has begun with me. Now there is peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Now we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Peace has begun with me, and this is the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Now there is peace on earth, and it has begun with me.
The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. See you next Sunday.